they are laughing at us. I see the sadness spreading your eyes. Once we were dancing, singing, somehow it all changed. No one else could understand.
Oh, hi. Hello? Oh, right. I forgot you can hear me as well. I muted. Hmm. Okay, wife. Oh, hey, you guys. Hi. Hello. How are all of you? Hey, Micah. How are you all? I was gonna do VR today. Matter of fact, I don't know why Zilver stuff in. Oh, it's because I didn't even look. Hi. Hey. I'm almost done with Zilver's map and stuff and map and stuff. And yeah. I haven't really streamed. It's because I spent 14 hours on Sunday doing fucking Baldur's Gate. I just heard it get part-time streams. A little hard. You want one? You want one too? I've seen you a while enough. Here, you can get that. Uh, everyone, please type in message delete. Thanks. You know what? You too, Mighty Brand. You can get this as well. I've seen you a while. Here you go. Now you have one as well. Okay, so what do you guys think of Zofrix maps? Oh, I can't even see what you guys are saying now. Oh my gosh, we had a bit of. Okay, there we go. What do you guys think so far? Yes, no. This is not the final work yet. Some of the mix of stuff, but yeah. Looks like McDonald's a little bit, doesn't it? Is that Wawa? The McGame show. I know, right? But Zilver wanted a deal no deal map. I was like, that I can do. It's a very small project. So I decided to take it on. And yeah, how deep. Oh, I can see some error. I'll fix that later. Side, oh, I don't know. I can see movie theater vibe. Well, then that means I'm up. So I'm gonna get rid of some of the random over here. But yeah. What do you guys think so far? This part I need to change it. I would like to move this couch up. And then I would like to put some stuff under. Last time we've been moved. Neither have I. What's this for? This one's for Zilverg. I'm taking a break from Rob's map. So to give you guys an FYI, I took a huge break from doing Sora's map because Sora's map is really, really huge. And I'll be honest, it burns me out. Because I'm at that point where I finally practice everything that I want to practice, aside from fucking trees, because I still cannot make trees for dear life. And I've been wanting to release stuff for a long time, to like release maps again of my own kind as well. And in general, just being able to release maps finally again is really nice. So I told Sora, I was like, you want someone else to pick up the project, go for it. But I want to do like game worlds. I want to do like adventure worlds and stuff like that. I want to do my bullet hells again. And I want to do a lot of Udon stuff. Because to be honest, I'm really tired of making fucking maps for the community. I just want to do my own stuff. The only thing I'm not dropping is Rob's map because I love working on Rob's map. And doing his maps is just enough, like, enough. How do I explain this? This is the only cozy map I'd ever do, to be honest. Any more than that, and I would hate myself because I, for dear life, do not like making cozy maps. To me, it is so fucking boring. Pardon my language. I just hate it. There's so many cozy maps, and I don't want to make cozy maps. I want to make cool bullet hell stuff. Big game world. I can even do my fucking my horror map. But yeah, I want to diversify my creative output. That's a really good way to put it. Like, if it's making like an RP system with Udon, I wouldn't mind doing it for Sora. Like, I actually would not mind doing that, but I just cannot for life. I'm just so sick of I'm sick of making constant cities and stuff like that. The reason is, the hotel thing. That's actually what threw me over the edge because it's like I made a city for I made like housing and stuff for the community as well. But I think that it's so thick and long, and it's like all the way into the base. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I love it. Thank you very much. Okay, so one of the biggest gripe I have, and I say this with all due respect to them, it's just that it's something I personally hate. I do not like when I'm doing something for free for start because if it's not being used, I just wasted all my time. Second, I absolutely do not like working on the same projects as other people. I hate it. I absolutely hate it because I don't get paid for it either. That leads into that. And I don't want to fight with like, oh, whose map is going to be used more? I hate that. I absolutely hate it. I'm not there to compete. I'm there to improve my fucking skills. So it's just like, oh my gosh. And I was literally going to bring back the whole hotel stuff for Rob's map too, but since they're doing it, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make rooms there. Hotel map was trying to make for yeah, something. Yeah, I don't need unnecessary friction for no money. It's like, this is where I'm just gonna be realistic. If I am doing this for free, I don't want to have to fight. But like, 3 people making a cyber map, I didn't even know there were like 2 other mappers or 2 other maps for the cyber map. I was just like, I can't do this. I absolutely can't do this. I like Sora City map. A lot of people did, but I was like, dude, I can't do this. I don't want to fight. So I've decided I'm only, in terms of community stuff, I would only do stuff for Rob and Crumpet. That's it. I ain't gonna make shit like, oh, can you help me make my room for this map? Like, nope, sorry, I don't care. Or if I'm asked for help, like, nope, sorry, I got my own projects. But like, I feel like I'm free now. Because see, stuff like this and just other stuff. I just cannot do cozy. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's so boring. I don't want to make bets constantly. I hate that shit. I don't want to make. I want to make stuff that's like wow factor. I want to make. I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I burnt myself out. I've been doing fucking homeworld, cozy world shit for a long time. I want to finally go back to making my own maps again. Plus, you'd be more challenged. And it's not my place. It's weird. Huh? And it's not my place to talk. It's like, I don't care about that. I just make maps. I just make fucking maps. I cannot do this fucking constant city, fucking constant homeworld stuff. I can't do it. I'm tired of this fucking city stuff. I want to make my own shit. I want to make like one of the ideas I had is kind of like that world where like it takes into the past and there's like a whole war. I want to do cool shit like that, man. I want to finally put my name out there again. I used to make bullet hells. The only reason why I am even I still the reason why I still continued on Rob's map is one because I'm friends with him. He's very close. He's a very close friend of mine. But two, he told me he told me a lot of stuff about the map, old map that he liked that I never thought he paid attention to. And I was like, wait a minute, you noticed that I did that? Because if there's one big gripe I have, and this was very, very constant back when they used to do like bar RP. Whenever I made something, it was hardly used. I hated that. I was like, dude, I can't do this. I can't fucking. So I'm only continuing Rob's map. That's it. I I've pretty much given up on like doing doing like player stalls, custom housing and stuff like that because when I make a majority of the work as well, people cannot even just do the small part like, hey, just if you guys want your own room, then all I ask is that you make your own room. People can't do that. It's like, oh my gosh, please, please. So I just don't want. I think what it leads to indefinitely is I don't want to make stuff if it's not going to be used. I don't get paid for this. I literally don't. If Robert Crumpet asks for something, I will do it. The only reason why I'm doing this and I don't mind it is because it's not a fucking homeworld. For a start, it's not a city, and I can have my own freedom in how I do this. But most importantly, I'm only making this map because Zophic's been really kind and like a great friend to Exxon. Yeah, Exxon talks about Zophic always talks about him all the time. All the stuff he does, I'm like, yeah. So I was like, Zophic, I told Exxon, I was like, I don't mind because he was talking about like deal or no deal. It's like I don't mind. Or when Zophic asked me if I could do a map for him, I was like, I didn't mind. Because I thought it'd be fun. It's a change of pace for me. I did miss the Greater Crew map Easter eggs. Very excited to see what kind of stuff you want to make. Eventually, I mean, I started working on the homeworld, but then I picked up Sora's map again. Like Sora's map is the biggest hurdle ever because I'm only one person and I'm working on two maps. Rob's map is like in the process of a whole fucking rehaul again because I finally understood that doing open world is absolute ass. It's better to do everything like instance based, at least for my personal experience and how I work. But yeah, and I learned, hey man, like make your maps smaller because they're fucking huge. So there's a lot of that as well. But yeah, there's a lot of factors. I just don't like working on the same stuff people are working on. I just can't be bothered. If I'm asked to help with like the same thing, I don't want to help. If it's like building stuff from scratch, because then another thing too is like I'm one person, and not only am I one person, I build everything from scratch. I tables, this whole set, all from scratch. I hate it. Huge maps and people just gravitate to small areas. Yeah, I don't like it too. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to compete. I want to do my own stuff. I want to make my bullet hells again. And stairs for RP. Mm-hmm. I guess that's what kills my motivation. So the only time I'm gonna build stuff for the community if Rob asks for it. But that's it. That's literally it. Beyond that, I'm gonna work on his homeworld, and that's it. Literally, that's it. Like, let's see, where am I at with this map? See, this stuff I don't mind. This is the. You guys recognize this area? This is like this is one of his whole pool areas. And you know what? I'm pretty sure Rob just wants me to focus on his homeworld because he likes the stuff I do for his homeworld. So I don't mind it either. But pretty much, yeah, like this whole outside, almost almost done. But again, I'm one person. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to build shit for it to not be used, etc., etc. The only person I make an exception for is Rob because I don't mind mapping for Rob. If anyone else asks me for shit on a map, running through it. I was gonna have like let people have their own housing, but if they're doing that hotel stuff, I'm like, okay, I'll just do that instead. Fuck that. But yeah, just again, I'm just one person, so I don't think I'm ever gonna take a big project again unless I actually get help with it. Because I go in, not only do I do everything from scratch, like full scratch, I like do all texture work from scratch, and then even the udon stuff, it's like I can't be bothered. I can't fucking be bothered. I don't even want to help with those. Like, if anyone asks me for udon help, sorry, I don't care for it. I don't want to do it. I want my own freedom. Auto's frozen. Oh, it's because I get too close to my. Yeah, Silverx. I don't mind. I because it's for. I'm only doing this because, like, primarily because for XCon. Yeah, it's atrocious. I burnt myself out. Always taking on big projects. This one I don't mind doing. It's a good because Rob Snap has taken me a long time. Ever since I like Real, I'm just not good with like interior design, cozy world. But it's not enough to burn me out. I ended up paying a program. Yeah, it's fucking atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. I think my biggest deal is texture. Getting texture in UV work, having to constantly go back and forward, annoys me. If someone could help me with that, then I don't think I would mind it. But like, jeez. Yeah. So for the time being, I put Sora's map on hiatus. I told him if he ever wants to pick it up, go for it. I'm done. I'm literally done. I just hate working on projects. I think, and I was like, oh man, I can't do this. I literally just can't do this. There's no point in me making a map when there's two people working on the exact same map. I can't do it. It burnt the hell out of me. Oh my gosh, I'm one person. I literally do everything from scratch. I can't do it. It's too much. I have respect for them, but there's no way I'm not gonna put myself in a position where it feels like I'm competing, especially if I do it for. See, if I was paid, I would not care. But I don't get paid for this. I don't ask for payment. I don't want payment, to be honest, either. You know, heart and mind. Mm-hmm. But pretty much yeah. Atrocious.
Everywhere. DLSS this, DLSS that. But what is it? And why is it doing the
What
impossible?
am I doing? Right. I just can't do it.
It's not.
I
good
literally
sucking
just can't do it.
words. Yeah, because
I-
that would be.
I was
yeah,
like, I wanna
okay,
make
'cause
my
there's
own
actually,
worlds
like,
now.
Another letter too.
I'm tired
Okay,
of-
never mind.
Possible. This
Yeah, I don't know.
AI-based technology
And because of this dilemma as well, that's why I get so annoyed even more. Because then I end up having a project that I just never complete because someone else finished it before me. And I'm like, okay, well, am I ever going to finish a map and release it? Probably not. Not at this rate. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do my own thing. And you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing, make a name for myself. Until one day people are like, oh, I wish I could. So I'm be like, nope, sorry. I just want to get good, and that's it. Get good, and yeah. My other thing is, I'm never taking on huge projects again. If I am, I I need help with it. Because I am just one person. I can't do it. I literally can't do it. It's gonna drive me fucking mental. Especially if then especially if like people are working on the same thing again. I'm like, can't do it. It destroys my mental. I'm not gonna lie. It destroys my mental. And and then I become unproductive. I don't release the map again. It repeats that damn fucking cycle. I can't do it. I can't. So yeah. After this, I'm gonna actually start just working on Drops app and then do my own maps again, which is nice because I've always been wanting to like restart my bullet hell worlds. Let's see what else. So I really want to redo my bullet hell worlds and then your troubleshooting. It's black magic. Yeah, it really is. I like doing, and to be honest, I like doing more udon stuff than I do map making. This stems back to the fact that I used to make bullet hells as well. The maps itself were secondary, but the experience from it was primary. So that stuff I like way more. I like making stuff. It's fun. It's really. But holy heavens, I just can't do it. I've come to realize my limits, so to speak. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. This is not for me. Because another thing too is I work on my own models. I literally do everything myself. That's why everything's a lot slower. Because I do everything from scratch. It's just like, you know, I get burnt out. And that pretty much made me realize, yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick to doing stuff for Rob. That's it. At one point, I tried to make my own housing and everything. I don't care for this anymore. We have like I can jump between helps. That's the thing. But the two projects I'm switching between are fucking huge, and I'm never gonna get my own stuff done. Ugh, it's horrible. It's horrible. So I burnt myself out on this. I can't do it. Huge and similar. Yes, they're both the same thing basically. I hate it. I can't do it. So that's why again, I'm okay with just Rob's map because it's just one type of map. But if I'm doing the same map, two different, I just can't do it. My one map's Siege. Yeah, the one I'm working on, it's a fucking Uh, it's atrocious. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. So I'm just gonna
ご機
stick
嫌
back.
うるわしゅう
I'm just gonna stick to doing Rob's map, and then I'm gonna start like my own stuff. I've been wanting to make my own bullet house. Hi, hello. But yeah, I really burnt myself out. I think this one was like a necessary burnout because it's not like I was burnt out mapping. Rather, I was just burnt out doing the same thing over and over. I just could not forget life. I just couldn't handle it anymore. Writing private res. I think that's the biggest issues as well. Is when I find out I'm also doing the same thing, like the same similar map for other people. I think that's what forces me or causes me to be lazy or to become very lethargic on doing map stuff. It's because it's like, why am I even doing this? You have similar mapping, so it's more like. But again, all this is more like a me. I Master 4.
This bussin'. For real, on God. No cap on a sack.
box
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, it burnt the hell out of me. That's for sure. I was like, nope, I can't. I absolutely cannot do this. I don't mind because again, it's for Zilric. It's a different kind of map. It's not cozy. And it's not a fucking city. I'm good with making cities now, but I just fucking hate it. I just can't. Anything RP map, I don't want to touch right now. To be honest, I burnt myself out making fucking RP maps and stuff. I absolutely hate it. Couch floor. Yeah, it's fucking atrocious. Guys, we're gonna be doing RP cyber. Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I don't like making the same stuff as other people. I absolutely. And I just want to do this. I want to finish the stuff that I'm doing for Rod. I'm bringing a lot of the old map back to this new one, but it's not easy. But again, I do everything from scratch, and having to go through Unity to Substance Painter to Blender to Unity, Substance Painter, Blender drives a person mental. I hate. That's why. That's why when I do people's models as well, I tell them, can you just please learn how to do the Unity part because this drives me mental. Where I have to do this over and over and over. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I don't mind making weight painting and stuff in Blender. I hate having to all the setup for Unity and such. My mental goes off. My sanity is like gone by then. Because at that point, it's just basically me working on models that I'm not going to even use. That's what like drives my mental insane as well. I'm just like, I can't fucking do this. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Anyways, that's enough about my existential crisis that was going on. I hope you enjoy Existential Crisis. Yep. 80% of my day navigating through file shifts. Yep, that's what I do. And again, uh, I do everything myself as well. I can't for dear life handle it. I said, I I sat there, I was like, okay, I've blown up. I'm not doing this anymore. Goodbye. I'm done. I was here and now I explode. Oops. Yeah. I'm still gonna do Rob's map. I like doing Rob's map. Because anything I learn, I always use his homeworld to test it. So like when I didn't even know he liked that. You guys remember the lazy river I made for him? I didn't even know he actually used that. I was like, wow, I never see you use that on stream or anything like that. So I was under an impression that it was just something I just added there for fun. I was like, oh, when he talked about it, I was like, oh, I am so sorry I took that away. That and he liked the near room that I made for him as well. I was just like, geez, I just added there for my own fun. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna change this up as well. Ads. Doing ads. What is blogger? Ads. Ads. But yeah, I just want to make my bullet hells again. To be honest, I want to make my own war worlds. My own worlds. I literally have like for the horror world. I literally have NPCs made. I showed it off a while back on stream where I had wandering NPCs that actually do stuff. I could just never finish my ideas because I was stuck on Sora's map or Sora's map. So I needed to make a sacrifice, and I chose to do Sora's or to stop doing Sora's map for now because Sora's map is like so far from completion. I'm gonna do a horror map. Yeah, just doing one map is like a whole dedication. It's really, really bad. Like I applaud all the mappers out there that get stuff pumped out. I don't know how they do it. But all I can say is they have that's shit. I am so slow. You'd want to go out. Yeah. Like I don't mind doing udon stuff. I hate making cozy worlds or RP maps right now. Like if it's udon stuff, I don't mind. Especially since I can make my own assets now. You sacrifice sorry, man. They can release like 10 maps a year before I get one out. Exactly. That's my biggest issue. Every fucking time I'm about to finish something, someone else made it. I'm like, okay, well, there we go. How long ago? How far along is the horror? Not for a while. I only have the NPC done, but most of it is coding work, which I have not been able to do at all. So The idea of this horror map, which took me so long to finally get working, I wanted to make this horror map based on sight and distance. So I literally have NPCs that can detect if you're close by and if they can see you. And in order to be safe, you have to be. The thing is, this light also attracts the enemy. So if they see a hint of this light source, they will find ways to break into a barricade that you have to. And yeah. You'll protect me. It'll be a while before that. So the next project I want to pick up after I finish Silver's map, I want to finish my homeworld. I decided to finally update old homeworld that a lot of people apparently use. And then from there, I'm actually gonna do my bullet hell. If not my bullet hell, there's actually I want to do like one of those timed events. Those are cool. And I have like a whole idea. Hope everyone's doing good. Thank you. Too. But yeah, now you are all in like what my schedule is like.
Is being talked about in the media a great deal, and it is supposedly a way of dramatically speeding up computer games
23
and
FPS,
virtual
100.
worlds. So, does this?
This is
really
the
work?
Asmongold
Well,
Azure Lane drama.
Jensen Huang,
No,
Nvidia
not this
CEO,
one.
says that every single pixel on your screen for these games will not be rendered, but will be generated soon, presumably by an AI. That really got my attention.
What the fuck?
That sounds insane. And if hearing this, you think that this cannot possibly be true, I don't blame you for a second. We can't just create
Why
all
is
this
this
footage.
not-
There has to be a proper system that can compute reflections, diffuse interactions, and all that. Alright?
So you telling me all this exists and Twitch still has a 6K bitrate? You telling me you can make this bonsai tree in a fucking video game, but we gotta deal with a 6K bitrate?
Not quite. In 2018, I had a little project where I wanted to generate photorealistic images of materia models quickly.
Okay.
Now, generating an image through ray tracing took up to 40 to 60 seconds, and that was a bit too long for my
Like it's
taste.
magic.
Takes a while.
So, I tried to write a neural renderer that could take
Why is it hot
just
like-
the description of a material model, and it would immediately, in real time, synthesize what it would
Oh,
look like.
I know.
And it was able to do all this not in 60 seconds, but in 3 milliseconds. Yeah,
Why does it talk
it
like
was 20,000 times faster. However,
That's pretty, guys. I think that's pretty fast.
it was limited to this very scene. So, how did this research field improve in the last 5 years? Do we have anything more usable now? Oh boy, if only I could tell you. Well, meet DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling.
Oh, so that's what it stands
Mortal
for.
Kombat the Switch
Okay,
looks horrible. I've seen that.
That's crazy.
This is a system where hardware and software works together to create an incredible
that one.
experience where games and virtual worlds really
Why
run
this
faster
Zovix map is
than
almost done
what
already?
should be
Oh my
possible.
gosh, this one
Wow.
didn't take me
So,
that long.
How? Well, as of DLSS version 3, get this, by generating 7 out of every 8 pixel that appears on the screen. Yes, more
And
than
yeah, the Switch
85% of the pixels
Super
are
Smash.
just generated, not
Smash
computed
Brothers or whatever.
by, for instance, ray tracing or traditional techniques. Yes, that
Oh,
sounds
wow.
flat out impossible, but it is possible. The first step is running super resolution in real time. This means
Why does
that
he
a
talk
coarse
like
image
that?
goes in and an AI
If you
finds
know,
out
I get.
if we pretended
Why?
Damn, so can you do that with like those sample pictures that girls post for like OnlyFans that are like pixelated? Holy shit.
that this is a fine image instead. What are the details that are missing?
You know what? I hope that somebody goes. Yeah, somebody said this in chat. I hope somebody goes. They use this on UFOs, and they use this fucking
Yes, sir.
sampling technology, and the flying saucer turns out to be a frisbee with like a laser
I get
taped
it.
on the top of it.
And it synthesizes those
A
details.
paper plate.
Second,
Yeah.
optical flow. We can look at 2 adjacent frames.
Yeah, this totally like this changes the game for some of that hentai, right? I mean, like, wow. I really like. I mean, I know I think about all the wrong things whenever you consider this, but it really changes the game.
Of the video game and try to estimate what has happened between them
Oh,
and
Asman.
where things are going. With
Wow.
this, entire intermediate frames can be synthesized, creating the illusion as if the game was running smoother than our hardware can run it. Combining
The new
So
world.
it's not actually
is to
frames
come.
generated, it's the illusion of frames generated that are generated in between the actual frames that are generated. That's incredible. Does that affect like input delay or anything? Like, I wonder. That's amazing.
the two together with
Uh-oh.
a pool
Why
of
is this
very
bacon
few
so slow?
pixels
Holy
that are
shit.
computed, both image quality and smoothness can be improved at
Uh,
the same time. What a time to be alive!
Yeah,
But
for
it
real.
does not stop there.
I'm not
It
gonna
gets
touch any-
better. They have
everything,
also
like,
announced
grayed out.
DLSS 3.5, so hopefully all this can be improved.
I don't know why.
God damn, bro, like whenever I play, I'm gonna play this new Cyberpunk shit that just came out. I heard all the reviews on it are like S tier. Everybody thinks it's great. And whenever I play it, I want to try out. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna play it the same as I play Starfield. I'm just gonna run around and shoot people, right? That's gonna be about it. For a few days, quit the game.
What happened to this world?
Y'all are looking for like a, playthrough of the game. You're looking in the wrong spot. But I'm just saying in general. It fills in
Like,
the gaps? Yeah, I guess so.
gross.
That's incredible. Like,
Hello?
this is amazing. What I'm saying is, like, I want to see what the
Oh, there we
graphics
go.
on that game look like.
Further,
Why is
through
this so
something
slow?
that they call ray reconstruction.
Ray
Oh my
reconstruction.
goodness, this is going to be so good. But how? Well, normally when we perform ray tracing, we simulate the path of millions and millions of rays and bounce them around in the scene. And if we can't afford to wait for up to hours at a time for an image, we will have to settle for a really noisy image. Like
Okay.
this. Denoising techniques exist that try to guess what
Did
the
Blender
missing
crash?
information
No,
could be,
it's my
but
Unity.
they are
It's not baking.
perfect.
Sure.
Not
I don't know.
even close. Some important details between objects can be missed entirely, and still, reflections can be a lot less clear than in a full simulation. And, unfortunately, we have a problem. It gets even worse. This image will undergo an upscaling step where these errors get magnified even more. Denoising
I don't
and
know what's going on
upscaling
with-
Yeah, I feel like this kind of
Or not
happens
one.
with, I feel like another version of this kind of happens with, like, some
What happened?
AI art stuff.
are two separate steps typically done
Like
by
background
two
shit.
separate models. So why not do both of them
Ugh.
with the same
This
AI
doesn't
model?
crash my project.
And now, ray reconstruction enters the scene.
Okay.
It learned on a ton more information than the previous models. 5 times more training data was given to it.
This is
And
incredible.
look at this step. This one is right on the money. This is tailored to retain
Why
high
does he
frequency
talk like
information,
that?
fine
I mean,
details
I'm
to
not
make
complaining.
sure
It's
that
just,
before
why
the
does he talk
upscaling
like
step,
that?
we have the highest quality information available.
Isn't it like, I mean, sometimes I really go back and I think to myself, like, how crazy is it that I grew up and I played
Audience.
Super Mario World and now I'm looking at this? Isn't
Huh?
that fucking insane? It's like not even in the same
the
fucking
heck?
universe. It's
What
incredible.
happened?
This is amazing, man. I love this.
Why does this appear? Wait,
So,
huh?
is it better than what the Noisers did before? Oh my goodness, look at that!
Wow,
We
wow,
finally
wow.
got that shadowy region back that was filled in by incorrect information with the denoisers before. Yummy! So
Why is
good.
this?
And that high frequency information retaining capability can also be witnessed here. Loving
Uh-huh.
it. Now, note that ideally, here we talk about peer reviewed research papers where we can see all the weak points and failure cases. That is my home turf.
What
This
the? F
is not a research paper.
What is going on
so
with
it is
Unity?
harder
Hello?
For me to find the flaws, so bear in mind
That's like a
that
bunch
it
of
may have
words.
weaknesses that were not shown here.
Sure.
And in the meantime, this
my-
technology is being handed
What
out
is going
to
on?
millions and millions of people all around the world, and it is.
I never really focus on the negatives with stuff like this because, like, everything that was a negative
What the
back in
hell
the day
is going on with this
probably
map?
isn't anymore. And, like, I assume that they're
Export.
just gonna fix it. Yeah, it's progress. They'll figure it out. And the fact that it's even happening this much is insane to me. It
I'm
just
so
takes some
conf-
time. Yeah, exactly.
It's like
incredible. So this will be
Unity
available
is
only
having
for the
issues
shiniest,
supporting my
newest
models for
graphics
some
card
reason.
owners, right?
That's amazing. Like, look at that shit. Oh my god. Like, what I think is so
Hello?
amazing about this sometimes is like the DLSS actually
Just crashed
improves
again.
the picture from what it originally even was.
I never
Hold
had
on
this
to your
issue
papers,
before,
fellow
so what the
scholars,
hell?
Because here comes the best part. No, this comes to all RTX graphics cards, even the older ones that you can pick up for
I have
a
every-
couple $100. This can breathe
So-
new life into aging hardware, which is highly appreciated.
I'm so
That's
confused.
incredible. So you can get this DLSS in like one of the, like a 2060? Dude, that came out like 4 or 5 years ago. My 2070 lives, yeah.
Note that the particular game or app you're running has to be ready for DLSS 3.5 for
Sure.
all this magic to happen.
Audience
I
seating?
am a light transport researcher by trade. I dream with rays of light and ray tracing, if you will. So I am incredibly happy to
So
see
con-
this technology make it into the hands of real users in the real world in such an incredible way.
Yeah,
and
this is
make no
amazing.
mistake, this is not perfect by any means. There are games,
Dude, how do you take something from like
make no mistake, this is not perfect.
I feel like whenever I see 15 to 85 FPS, like I feel like there's got to be like some kind of a like it's got to be like bullshit or something, you know? That's incredible.
I'm so confused. It was the
Starfield
seating.
doesn't have
sign-
DLSS. Actually, I think Starfield is patching in DLSS. Isn't that correct?
Say,
By any means.
They don't have it,
There
but
are
they're
games
going to.
Uh,
where it does not
Yeah,
appear
they're
to
adding
work
it.
very well, and some people prefer to not use it at all.
I know there's
anywhere.
a mod now,
However, note
Wow.
that this is still never
Holy
to not use it
shit.
at all anywhere. However,
but
note
Jesus, bro, like that is. As somebody who raided in Burning Crusade and Wrath on a PC that I bought from Sam's Club, and by I bought I mean my mom bought for me. This is like, where the fuck was this? Dude, where was this in Wrath of the Lich King?
that
Can't
this is
save the
still
back,
nascent
it's okay.
technology, and it can already synthesize
It's a little bit
more
concerning
than
that
85% of these frames,
crashed like
which
that.
is something that I thought would only be possible in a science fiction movie.
EOS is pretty nice,
Maybe
but sometimes
not
causes
even
more
there.
issues.
I am absolutely
At least
stunned
from
by
my
these results,
experience.
even with their weaknesses. And don't forget to invoke the first law of papers. The first law of papers says that
Why is it
research a
importing? I
process.
don't
Do not
understand
look
why
at
it's.
where we are, look at where we will
I can't
be
bake
2 more
lights for
papers
some
down
reason.
the line.
The
That's
hell?
what I think is so interesting. Like that perspective.
I guess I just
completely
have to
agree
sit
with
here and.
because like
Oh my
if
gosh.
you
I'll work on
had,
Rob's map for
example,
now.
AI
It's
art
like
5 years ago.
I don't know why it's not
3
loading.
years ago, 1 year ago. Each different stage of it is so dramatically different. It's astonishing, and it's especially the same with like
Okay,
AI voices, everything
let's
like
see.
that. So,
So I
like,
got this
whenever I
one
see
done
something like this, it's insane.
trying to think what other
but, like,
places he
it's not,
liked
like, here's a
that
good way to look
I
at it.
can
Unreal
recreate.
5 is fucking insane, right?
Actually, let me.
But there will
as well.
come a day that Unreal 8 comes out. And what the fuck is that going to be?
Weights and Biases provides tools to track your experiments in your deep learning project.
I have to
Their
organize
system is
this.
designed to save you a ton of time and money, and it is actively used in projects at prestigious
I also think this is like a really positive thing because it makes PC gaming more accessible to a larger audience. One of the big reasons why PC gaming isn't as popular as console gaming, and of course it's not as popular as mobile gaming, is because PCs are expensive. So if you can run a PC with lower specs and still make, be able to play like state-of-the-art games and like new games at like good FPS, that lowers the barrier to
Solid.
entry for PCs and for people to get into PC gaming. And I think that's just going to be better for everybody because, as I've said before, I think PC gaming is,
Oh, well,
I think it is
it's
it's the best. It's better than, I just think it's simply
Okay.
better than console gaming.
Let me go
because you
load
have so much
Rob's
more control.
map so I can
labs
see
such as
the other rooms you
OpenAI,
wanted.
I'm
Toyota
really happy
Research,
to see this.
GitHub, and more. And the best
This is
part is
incredible.
that Weights and Biases is free for all individuals, academics, and open source projects. It really is as good as it gets. Make sure to visit them through wnb.me/2mp or just click the link in the video description and you can get
What?
a free demo today. Our thanks to Weights and Biases for helping us make better
Why is
videos
this,
for you.
I don't understand why this light
That's
fix is just
incredible.
going so slow.
Like,
One,
as I said, I
Papers
really
said-
like. I think this is just so incredible. Because again,
I am so
that's the biggest weakness right now that I think a lot of like PC gaming in general has. That like you spend $2,000, $4,000, $1,000 on a PC, you make the PC, you buy the PC, you have the PC, and it's like, yes, it runs maybe a bit better, but like that amount.
yeah.
of
I don't
investment,
know
like, a
why
lot of
it's
people
not
can't
letting me
drop that
bake
much money.
lights. That is so.
And that's why consoles are so popular. It's because people just don't have the money to spend that much on on an entertainment platform, right? It's just that
Everything's
simple.
so slow. Right?
So the fact that this makes the barrier to entry for PC gaming, I think, so much lower. And I think this is going to.
Well, here's Rob's
case,
map,
right?
actually.
Parents just get their kids consoles nowadays. PCs.
You guys
cost
say
a
you need to see
fortune.
Rob's
yeah,
map.
but like this makes it to where like PCs will still be expensive, but the barrier to entry to
I
getting
just don't
in
understand why
on a
it's
PC
unique.
is cheaper, and I think that's amazing. And also, like, keep in mind,
So
if you're above 60 FPS, most monitors have a refresh rate, a frame rate max of 60.
Okay, well, Silver's
Most
map.
monitors are not 140. They're not
Let
144.
me see what's
they're
up with
60.
Silver's map.
So, like, if you're hitting 60 and above, you're good. Is it 75? Nah, bro. I've been
I just
seeing,
can't-
Like, I
I
go
just-
to,
I literally-
go to, like, Best Buy.
Why is this person
and I'm
sounding like?
seeing, like, 1 actually, like,
I-
5 milliseconds.
I don't know.
60 refresh rate monitors. That's still the standard, man.
Let me try doing
Like,
Silver's
I'm talking
map
about
again.
for normies. That's still the
If I
standard,
can't
right?
do Silver's
Your
map,
mom who
I-
doesn't know anything
but I'll
about
try
gaming,
doing it.
She's gonna buy
I'll
you
try,
a 60 FPS, 5
I'll just
millisecond
try,
refresh rate monitor. That's what's gonna happen. 120 is already very pleasing.
Doing
I
other
remember
thing
whenever I went
on
from
his map.
60 to 120,
It did
I didn't
again.
even know that could exist.
Look at this. I don't know why it's
3.5
showing that
and Nintendo
first
Switch
one.
next gen because it'll boost performance. And there it is.
I
I think
actually-
that's another example, right? Of like how
So weird.
this is going to just help people get into gaming earlier, and it's going to make gaming better for everybody. So yeah, there's the video. I'm going to give this a like. I think this is fucking amazing. Yeah, I didn't know anything about DLSS. I'm actually really glad I watched this to have it explained to me, because I didn't really know what
Yeah.
the value
So
of
that
DLSS really was.
So can you do that with like those sample pictures that girls post for like OnlyFans?
it did it again.
Sociopath businessman tells the truth about capitalism.
The last few years haven't been easy on
Oh
anyone.
my gosh, what
First,
the hell
we
is
had a
up with this map?
once-in-a-century pandemic, then a war in Europe fueled inflation everywhere. But according to one wealthy businessman, the workers of the world have got it too easy.
I think the
I don't-
problem that we've had is,
I am so.
we have.
It's like
people
these
decided they
chairs
didn't
are
really want to work
causing
so
me-
much anymore through COVID, and that has.
That's true. That's so true, bro. How many of y'all
That
went
time,
to Taco Bell and
that
the
was
shit
not
closed?
here.
Yep. How many of y'all like y'all
You
had
ran
that
out.
happen? Bro, I said fuck those unemployment benefits. I want my goddamn burrito.
You would have been better off using
Yeah.
the
had a massive issue on productivity. You know, tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. You know, they have been paid a lot.
Don't
to
worry.
do not too
I'll
much
take the
in the
place
last
of your
few
wife
years,
and
we need to see that
daughter.
change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer,
That.
not the other way around.
Right, naturally. And I agree with.
Thank you very much,
Pom
Pom.
I think
I
that we
greatly
need to see
appreciate it.
unemployment rise
32
because
years.
all these people that are working these fucking
Huh?
jobs that they hate, they need to automate these fucking jobs. And this is happening already. This is an inevitability, and it's happening
Audience
more
seating.
every fucking year. And everybody thinks, oh, it's not going to happen to me. Oh, it's going to be different, right? And so the truth is that the problem is that
What
there's
the hell
an
is
element
up
of
with-
this that's true. And the issue is that people are so focused around
So it's
paying like some random
that is so
person
freaky.
with
I was like,
really
what
no
the hell
skills, a
is
bunch
that?
of money to do a job that's going to be replaced by a robot in a few years. This is really just not a long-term solution for life, is it? It's not a long-term solution for society.
So for some
to
reason,
pay
these
some random
chairs
ass person that doesn't
are
fucking know
not
anything
letting me
$20
light
an
vape.
hour to go and do some like light physical labor. It's just not gonna this. Not gonna work in 10 years. This is gonna be.
Wait a
stupid.
minute.
Like we used to have manufacturing lines and assembly lines back in the day. Now we don't have that.
What is going
Robots do that.
on?
And you know where those people are? They're on their fucking ass. And it's the same with trains. There's
Oh
tons
my
of things, right? What do you think happened
gosh.
whenever they made cars?
That's-
all the people that dealt with horses.
That's not good.
They were done. So this guy is forward thinking. It's just that he's a fucking asshole and he has the
I
wrong
think that's
solution.
why.
That's what I think. They're not on their ass though. Well, they're
Audience
doing something
seating.
that's not as good as what they used to be doing. They used to get paid like a ton of fucking money to work on an assembly line. They had a
They, like,
crazy union.
exported
They were making
everything.
so much money, and then it all got automated out from underneath them, and they lost all of that security. They lost being
Okay,
part
let's
of
try
the
this
middle
again.
class. They
Save.
lost being able to afford to have a single income earner household. They lost so much.
Let's go down 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They lost leverage. Yeah, they did, and they lost their jobs. That's what it was. Automated? You mean outsourced to China? Well, what I mean is that
What the
you're
fuck
not
is
gonna have a
up with
job.
this map?
Doesn't really matter what it is.
In the economy, we need to remind people.
Somebody, real quick, I want to make sure I address one more thing, because now we make trash, not life-lasting goods. Shady Tree, you're the one that just gone and said that Russell Brand is a whole fucking media narrative against him. Bro, I don't know if that's true, but I know that shit isn't true, what you just said. Do you honestly think they can't make things last forever nowadays? Bro, we got things in the ocean. We got plastic bags
Unhinged
that
icons,
last
wow.
longer than a fucking smartphone
What do you mean,
nowadays, because they won't deteriorate in the Pacific Ocean. And
Oh
so
my
they're getting
gosh,
stuck
what
in,
is-
in
I actually
Chamonix
can't
Beach
light bait.
and killing dolphins. So do you really think that we can't make them work? Or do you think that it's actually a term that Apple had recently been sued
Oh
for?
my
for
gosh,
planned
I don't know why I
obsolescence,
can't
and
light
it
bait.
owes a fine and a class action lawsuit between
This is kind of
$200
stupid.
million and $500 million because it was proven that they make shit to break.
Hello?
So you buy it again. Keep it in mind. It's not that the quality went down. Well, it is. But it's working as intended. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Why is
that
this
they
so
work for the
slow?
employer, not the other
Exporting
way
scene?
around. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been a systematic change.
And
where
you got to remember, like, where is this? This is a property summit. So these are all people that probably own
What
like,
is going
17 different
on?
houses. And so their biggest problem is like a tenant.
Oh my gosh, I just might
not
work on
giving
Rob's
them,
map for
their
now.
Money, right? It's like they've
This
got,
one's giving
like,
me
you
an
know,
aneurysm.
15 to 20
I can't do it.
cookie
I can't do it.
farms, you know, cookie factories making them cookies, and whenever one of the factories stops working, well, then they get new employees that work in there. Those are the tenants. But the thing is, like, for like an average person,
Game time?
this is like
What would I
it's
even
a,
get?
It's a lifestyle that's so abstract that you hear this guy talking about it, and it just makes everybody fucking furious.
not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed.
Which is true. I think this is
Why
absolutely
is this-
true. I remember back whenever I was trying to get a job, and this is in like
Talk-
2011. You guys remember the fucking
Why is this so
recession in
slow?
2008? Oh my god, that was awful. I couldn't get a fucking job at Walmart. Can you believe that? It was awful. And so yeah, now like it's a completely different
I have to
situation.
click this
Back
again.
in the day, I used to see ads and hear ads for advertisements for job sites or job
Okay,
like
try this again.
there's like these companies, right? Indeed, I think Indeed's probably the biggest one. I can't think of like 5 others that like connect employers with employees. And like back then, they were focused at targeting employees looking for a job. And now, if you hear this on
Hi,
the radio,
hello.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear this all the time. Do you hear the same thing? Now, those same commercials are targeting employers.
What the
looking
hell
for
is going
employees.
with my
It's the other
stuff?
way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got
Stage-
to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The
By
government.
the way, that's not what's going to cause
Now
that.
that's
the reason
gone.
why people don't work is because they can get money from the government. You take away the government assistance and they go starving, and then they're going to go back to work. They'll accept worse conditions. That's just how it is. It's literally that simple. Like it's got nothing to do with the economy. It's got to do with the government assistance and the alternative, in my opinion.
Governments around the world are trying to increase.
He's not even
unemployment
right.
to get that to some sort of normality. And we're
Yeah.
seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is.
Why is
definitely massive
Unity
layoffs
being
going
so
on.
ass
People
right now?
Might not be
I
talking
actually
about it, but
don't
people
know.
are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the
People are getting laid off. Yeah, I think that's probably true. I mean, you've got a lot of reasons for that. And again, I'm probably not.
Are you
as educated
serious right
as
now?
somebody who probably should be speaking about this. So
Oh my
I really
gosh,
don't know what
I
I'm talking
just-
about here. But like my understanding of the reasons of this is that obviously like a lot of tech companies are doing massive layoffs because they overhired and they overexpanded during COVID. And then you also have a global recession that I think people have been predicting now for about a year. And so you have this kind of just contracting the economy, contracting employment, and then you also have inflation. So you put all 3 of these things
Huh?
together, and it's not a surprise that companies don't want to hire a bunch of people. And actually, inflation is probably not even one of the main reasons. I was actually thinking of something
Yeah,
else.
I'm not
Automation.
sure why it's not letting me.
Jobs are just simply being
It's kind of
automated.
annoying.
It's happening right now, and it's going to happen more every year.
I can see it right
employment
here.
market, and that
It's
has to
fine.
continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
That's a bit.
That was Australian millionaire property developer Tim Gurner speaking to a conference for investors. Now, it was pretty shocking and it's gone viral.
And that's smart, right? That's an investor conversation. That's not a conversation for the public.
Lots of people saying he comes across as a complete sociopath, which I think he does. I'm actually quite appreciative, though, that he said that, because I do think he is essentially articulating what is the dominant consensus among policymakers in the capitalist world.
I think this is the way that most people feel about their employees because they don't want the employees to have the power over them. They want to have the power over the employee. Is it really so surprising that somebody wants to maintain a power imbalance that's
So
beneficial to
interesting.
themselves?
I don't know. I guess it just
Fucking
does not.
obviously.
Right?
Duh.
And it's especially interesting because he was basically repeating verbatim a theory put forward by one of the 20th century's most influential leftist
Interesting.
economists. So there's a guy called Michał Kalecki. He was a Polish economist
Okay.
and a contemporary of John Maynard Keynes, but he was more skeptical of the promise of capitalism than John Maynard Keynes. So Keynes, he believed that smart governments could manage capitalism so that full employment would be maintained
That's
and inflation would be kept low. And so you
Okay.
could have harmony between capitalists and workers, essentially. You could make capitalism
See.
work for everyone. Keynes was a big supporter of things such as the New Deal under FDR. So you sort of pump money into the economy to maintain full employment. Businesses still make profits. Workers are getting decent wages. Unemployment is low. Everyone's happy. That was Keynes' idea. I mean, I'm probably, to some degree simplifying it, but that's the long and short of it. Kalecki, though,
Okay,
disagreed.
well,
He doubted
I don't think I can like.
capitalists would ever accept this deal. Now, in his classic 1943
Still-
essay, Political Aspects of Full Employment, Kalecki wrote this: full employment would cause social and political changes which would give a new impetus to the opposition of the business leaders. The sack would cease to play its role as a disciplinary measure. The social position of the boss would be undermined,
See,
and the self-assurance and class consciousness of the working class would grow. Discipline in the factories and political stability are more appreciated than profits by business leaders. Their class instinct tells them that lasting full employment is unsound from their point of view, and that unemployment is an integral part of the normal capitalist system. So Kalecki there is saying that while full employment might be technically possible within capitalism, so that's the sort of Keynes line, the politics of it won't work. And that's because bosses need to be able to control their workers, and they can only control them with the threat of unemployment and ultimately the threat.
I don't know. I think there's like some truth to that, right? Is like probably getting fired is the main reason why people do their job as well as they do. Like if you couldn't get fired from your job, would you really show up at 9 o'clock? Like maybe you get there at like 9:07, maybe like 9:47 sometimes, right? Because it's like that's early. I mean, fuck, it's really early. And so it depends on if I still get paid. Yeah, well, obviously you probably still get paid. And I think also like, you know, you talk about what is full employment, right? Is this a defined term? Because I think obviously, you know, my understanding is like full employment isn't even really that much of a great thing because it means that the society can't grow and it's like the economy can't expand because you can't put new people into new industry. But again, I'm not an expert on this the same way these guys are.
Of poverty. Now, if you threaten your work with unemployment, but you've got quite generous unemployment payments,
Better
then,
idea.
yeah, that's not going to be a particularly effective disciplining mechanism. But if you threaten your workers with unemployment and also you have low unemployment benefits, then yeah, they are going to find it a little bit scary to stand up to you, right? So,
of course, I mean, it makes sense, right? And that's what I was saying before. People obviously want to have the power imbalance. It's common sense. And employees, by the way, employees.
This is Silver's
like if the shoe was on the other foot, employees would be not showing up to work, doing all kinds of shitty work, not trying, and then wanting to get paid more money for it. I think the root of all evil in the world
Because
is
Silver asked me I can make a map.
more things
Initially I
because
said
they
no,
don't
but
have
I
what
thought
they
it'd
already-
it'd
what
be
they
really
want.
fun.
And
The
because
lighting
of that,
broke a little bit.
people
I don't know
always
why.
push
I
it.
just can't do it
People
while
always
streaming.
keep
Does that
going.
make sense?
And I think
But,
this is especially true.
Yeah.
Money? Well, what does money
because
buy,
of it.
right? People don't really want money. People want what money can buy. And what money can buy is things that are scarce. So that's again, like that's the way I see things. I mean, again, what the fuck? I could be wrong, but this is the way I've seen things.
This is like the owner
And so,
new deal. It
anyway,
is.
the point
That's
I'm making is,
exactly
like,
it.
Whenever you have these dynamics, of course, the people that are in the advantageous position are going to take advantage.
I just don't know why it's not
because
letting me
that's what
light
always
bake.
happens. That's why you need checks and balances. That's why you need different types of.
Every time I try to light
accountability.
bake, it just doesn't work.
It's common sense.
Particularly, you want to put workers in a vulnerable, in a precarious situation, precisely so they don't get ideas above their station. Precisely so they have to listen to the boss and not speak back. And it's for that
So
reason, not necessarily
weird.
because of technocratic reasons.
Yeah,
such
I
as
literally just can't do
inflation.
anything.
Well,
I just have to let it sit.
There's this trade-off
So
between
weird.
inflation and unemployment, and that's why we can't have full employment, or we can't have employment to a
I can't
very
even-
high level all the time. What
It's kind of
Blackie is saying
annoying.
is
I
it
can't
hasn't
work
really
on
got
his
anything
map.
to do with a technocratic issue about
Oh, hi
inflation.
there.
What it's got to do with is politics. It's got to do with power. It's
I actually
about
just can't
power
work
of
on
the
his map.
employer
Yeah, of course.
vis-a-vis the worker, and that's why.
Well, because with the power imbalance, you get people to do things that are above your value.
have to-
Because like now, if you have a power imbalance, you can negotiate for things that are not equal. That's why people want a power imbalance. It's what makes sense because they get more money that way.
under capitalism,
I mean,
you'll
shit.
always have precarity because they need it. Now,
Somebody says in chat, you have points where you make good points. You also have points where you sound like absolute naive idiot. Which point did I say that you disagree with? Let's go. Let's get this out of the way. You don't know
Now
what you're
the-
talking about. All right, let's go. What did I say
Gosh.
that was wrong? Because you've been in here arguing for a while. The corporate culture bits? What part? Do you agree capitalism is the issue? Corporations looking out for each other?
See, I don't
think
understand
that-
why
I don't
it
think
makes
that
the
the needs of the people can be met with economic systems. What's this here? People get hooked on corporate culture. It's a different environment. It's a different. No. But what did I say that was
Like,
wrong?
why
what
is-
did I say that makes me sound like absolute naive idiot? Like, what is it specific? Like, why is it like I pull your message up, and you have a fucking front. You are on. You got a spotlight on the front of the stage to fucking tell me what I'm wrong about. Just do it.
Jesus, man.
What am I wrong about?
That's
What's the problem? Like, why are you talking about generalities? Like, I'm saying a specific thing that I said that was wrong. What was it? There's no purely economic system. Well, what I mean by that is that, like, I don't think that you should view I don't think you should look at companies to solve the problems for people, because companies do not exist for the benefit of their workers. They exist for profit. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you shouldn't look to them to solve the problem that people have. You should require the government to do that, because that's the government's responsibility,
What the
not a
fuck
company's
is going-
responsibility. I actually think that it's very bad that people put so much emphasis on companies to provide welfare for
Oh.
citizens. I think the government should be providing welfare for citizens. And I think that the focus on having companies provide welfare for
Well,
citizens is only
honestly,
going to
I
accelerate
don't know
automation.
why
It's only going to accelerate
that
jobs
does put
being
it that.
removed. And I think that ultimately the people will lose, because that's the way technology is going.
And
Companies
yeah.
should pay their taxes. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. I agree with
Okay,
you.
so one thing I'm gonna do,
Fair, whoa, check.
background.
Well, I mean, fair. Like, bro, why? Like, why is it that every time I pull somebody up, they don't have a point? And just to finish the thought, I'm a universal basic income enjoyer. I think it's an inevitability, and I think that in 50 years, people are going to realize that, probably sooner than that. It's not because I care about people or anything like that. I just think it's obvious this is going to happen. It's going to happen. You said earlier that welfare is a problem. What the fuck? No, I didn't.
So
I
let's
said
see.
welfare is the reason why people don't do their jobs. You're right. So what's the solution to that? The solution to that, have you ever thought that maybe you should think a little bit outside the box? Maybe the solution to people not wanting to do shitty fucking jobs is to find a way to where people don't have to do those shitty fucking jobs, rather than trying to incentivize them to do them. Okay, all right, he typed something. No, I had a bit of a point like 8 minutes ago, lost train of thought, very considerate guy. I don't think you know much about corporate culture, how alluring it is. It's like cult of mentality. You say that, but yeah, I mean, but you say that with anything, right? Everything's a cult of mentality. Religion, fucking Twitch, entertainment culture,
Square.
influencer culture, YouTube, fucking Twitter, you know, like corporate culture, anything, like political climate, like everything is a fucking, like, what was the word? Cult mentality. Everything.
Rivka, I've always loved Kaleki's theories, and that property investor, to me, you know, lots of people criticizing him, but to me, he's demonstrated the logic of Kaleki better than any
Wow.
leftist academic might be able to, and for that, I'm somewhat grateful to him.
It's interesting that there's been so much outrage at his comments. You know,
Did I
it's a
forget how
marvelous
to do
moment. They
this?
expose the
Okay.
way in which capitalism normally operates. But it kind of, in a way, shows how much faith people put in the system day to day. That it's only at these moments when some random Australian dude with like a massive
Did I
forehead
really forget to do
kind of just lays out how the system works that people are so
I forgot how to
aghast.
do this
And
already. What
I
the
think
hell?
what's interesting is
Why
this
come I
came
can't
up
color over
actually
it?
a couple of weeks ago, I think, when I was on the show, when we talked about the statistic that half of renters, or more than half of renters in the UK at the moment, are one paycheck away from homelessness. And
I think it's actually more in the US, right?
Oh, there.
Isn't it like 60, 70%?
Uh,
Yeah, I remember reading
no.
60, 70%. What percentage of people are one paycheck away from bankruptcy? Oh, no, I'm actually wrong. It's only 40%. But oh no, wait a
Why
minute.
the hell?
This one says 59. So it was 40% in 2019 and now it's up to 59. So now in 2021, I'm still wrong because it's probably 80.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Holy
works.
shit.
I argued, and I would argue all the more so in relation to this clip, that that's by design. The Tories want a housing crisis where we are all on the verge of homelessness.
This is some fucking UK I know Tories are people in the UK. I don't know anything about them. Like, listen, like I don't know about this shit. Yeah.
That's because that disciplines the workforce and that disciplines private renters incredibly effectively.
Oh, it
Because
does.
if we're
No, she's
constantly,
right about this stuff.
you know, lying awake at night, worried that we might be made homeless or redundant or be fired, then we're not going to ask for a pay rise. We're not going to
Exactly.
ask for a rent reduction.
Apple
It
cheese.
works.
Yeah, you're not gonna
I
ask
know.
for like, and this is what would happen back in the day. Yo, I remember whenever a Walmart got everybody got pissed off at Walmart because they were making people work off the clock and making people clock out and still working, giving people like 39 and a half hours a week, so they wouldn't have to pay them full time, etc. So like Amazon too? Well, Amazon, I feel like, I don't know if Amazon did that. I think Amazon just overworked people, but I could be wrong. Either way, the reason why that happened, the reason why people are okay with that is very simple. It's because they couldn't get a job anywhere else. So they had to eat shit. Because if you don't have anything else to eat, you have to eat shit. And so it's in their best interest that you don't have anything else to eat.
Fantastically
See.
well. I mean, Kalecki has theorized this tremendously well, and I think it's really interesting, some of the stuff you've quoted there, but it's also like Marx. You know, Marx laid out the fact that integral to capitalism was this idea of surplus, or what he called reserve humanity, people that capitalism didn't need within the workforce itself, but did need
Reserved
in order to
humanity?
discipline the working class. I mean,
Oh,
he argued that
shit.
they were part of the working class, but also kind of like almost a shadow working class there in the background to remind you that this is what you could be if you don't get on with your work and if you try and ask for more.
That's clever. I think that's very true, actually. I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's true, because, you know, religions do this too. That's why they have, like, hell and, you know, like, there's all these things like, oh, well, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. Yeah, it's actually, that's good logic.
Actually reminded of a conversation that I had with a family member recently. We were in central London and we walked past a homeless man. We kind of had a
Oh my God, Marx was a retard? I mean, you say Marx is stupid as fuck all you want, but he's right about this. He's right about this. That's why every other fucking system does this. Like, you know why they have public executions? It's for this same reason. That's why they burn people alive. You think they burned Joan of Arc alive for no reason? No, they did that to show a fucking message. To say, hey, you do this shit, we're gonna set you on fire. Because it's fun? No, it's not. Maybe some of them have fun, but that wasn't the main reason. That's the second example. That's the second reason. So yeah, everybody does. China, yeah, look, everybody does this shit. Every single
Making bookcase?
like power.
Well, it's kind of
structure,
it's supposed to be more like a
almost
city.
all of
I'm trying to
them
make a
have some
cityscape in
form
the
of
back.
Conspicuous punishment.
It's close
to
enough. Close enough.
administer justice and to make people know that they have to fall in line.
Yeah, like a
Almost
skyline.
every single power structure has this. It's nothing. It's nothing.
For some reason, I
unique
can't pick the
to
lights, so
Marx.
you guys won't be able to see
discussion
like
about
updates on
whether there should
this.
be homelessness in the UK and whether we should try and alleviate it.
I
by
don't know
giving
why
people money.
it's like
And
having
she was
issues with the
arguing, you know, if we didn't have, what would be the
Yeah.
point of wanting to have if there weren't any have-nots? And I think that's exactly, she had internalized the logic of capitalism. She was effectively saying, it works on me. There being people in society who are marginalized, who are unemployed, who are homeless.
I don't agree that the fundamental of capitalism is to make other people not have things. I don't think that there is any law in capitalism that says that there are certain people who shouldn't be able to even afford a living. That's crazy.
Makes me afraid enough to work harder. And so in a way, what Tim Gurner's saying is exactly correct. This is integral to the function of capitalism, that there's a surplus section of humanity that's there in the shadows waiting as a kind of
Then-
reminder of what happens if you try and unionize, if you
gonna do
try
that.
and do a rent
I actually
strike,
don't
if you try and organize for any kind of people power. But you know, it's worth remembering that whilst this guy is getting a lot of heat on Twitter, this is exactly what central banks and you know, the Bank of England is saying that it's doing. The Australian Reserve Bank, for example, has recently said that it wants more unemployment. The Bank of England raising interest rates is in part to encourage a squeeze on demand, including in the labour force, that will create more unemployment.
This is the UK. I'm going to be honest. As I said, I don't.
Question is, where do I put the
talking
deal or
about
no deal?
Other
Maybe up here?
countries' politics.
Or below? I don't know.
It's not because I don't give a fuck. It's because I just kind of respect that it's like I don't really understand.
I think putting deal or no
what their
deal right there would
specifics
be
are, right? Like I'm not part of their culture.
maybe a dynamic
I
state.
don't understand them.
Where it like
I don't
scrolls
live
across,
there.
but then I have to
Like,
redo the whole UV.
So it's not out of not
Which I don't
caring,
wanna
where it's
do.
like, I mean, I don't really give a shit, right?
I'm
It's
so
not my
lazy to do
problem.
that.
But it's also out of respect. Also, we'll pull somebody else up. Hey, when Aspen talks politics, are you what are you unhappy about?
Games in the state?
What are you unhappy
What do you mean by
about,
that?
Shay?
furry seems.
What did I say
seems-
that upset you? And I swear to God, if you use a generality, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off at you. I'm gonna be fucking furious. You piece of shit. You
Color-
just have a
No, no,
narrow
no. I'm
view-
trying to
narrow
think of
vision
words
about
to
the
put
world and
like
how you piece of fucking
the
shit.
sign deal or no deal.
But why the fuck can't you just say what I'm wrong about? Why the fuck can't you do that? It's not hard to win an argument whenever you're typing something and the other person gets to speak in return.
Yeah,
I would
sign.
argue the opposite. I think it would be easier to argue something if you were typing and the other person was speaking, because you can formulate
I have an
the
idea.
words exactly.
I have
and
to
the
open
person
up
can remove the way that the words are communicated outside of the
Studio
message. I think that people who think that it puts them at a disadvantage whenever they have to
I have
type
an idea.
instead of speak are just simply bad communicators in written language. I like writing, because I think writing helps me understand my thoughts better. Do homeless people not exist? You're saying people don't work because of welfare, for
See,
example,
but
and
not
they would
paying.
go to work if they had no money. Do homeless people not exist? Do people not starve? Is there no mental illness that causes these problems? No, but like, okay, so like, are you saying, let me read this real quick. You're saying people don't work because of welfare, for example. So you're
You guys
saying that
can see-
like everybody, like every single person
fine.
who is a janitor or a garbage man
See.
right now, like being a garbage man, it's not a job that I look down on, but it's a job that fucking sucks. You have to wake up at like 3:30 in the morning. You have to deal with garbage all day. It sucks. Do you really think that if every single person who is a garbage man
You're trying to make a
could just
multi-stage thing?
instantly get
Oh, no,
paid
no,
the
no.
same salary for sitting at home every single day, that we'd still have the same amount of garbage men?
Let's see.
Oh, what, we talk about games, we talk about politics, that's it? You have various different views? A view
Setting.
is not... I have no
Center is right
problem.
there.
Like, it's weird that you... Like, I'm trying to think of, like, how I can respond to this, right? Because... So, like, maybe you hear half of what I say, and you don't hear the other half of what I say. So, like, my solution to this isn't to take people off of welfare. It's to increase welfare
Why is this in
to
Japanese?
where the people that don't want to do these jobs don't have to. I don't think that it's a good thing in society to have an underclass of people that are underprivileged, that have no resources, no political power, no social power, no economic power, that do nothing, and they get effectively used as second-class citizens. And that's what we have. And I think this is very unhealthy. It's extremely unhealthy. It's unhealthy, I would say, argumentatively, morally it is unhealthy. I think it's ethically unhealthy, and I think it is functionally unhealthy. And I think it will become more unhealthy every year as the jobs that these people occupy become irrelevant. So instead of trying to force these people into going into these jobs that they hate, that are awful, I think the solution should be figuring out a way to where less people have to do them, and the people that are having to do them, the way that they do them is better. That's the solution. You can't just, it's not just about paying people more money. So I understand, like, and this is the thing, right, is fundamentally disagree on the fact that you imply that people don't want to be a part of society and not
There we
contribute.
go.
I do not
So
believe that to
now
be the case at all.
I'll call.
I do think that people do, and I think this is it's a psychologically studied thing, I believe, I could be wrong, that people do have a fundamental desire, and people, obviously this is a general statement, so like not everybody, but I think a lot of people most certainly don't want to contribute. If I could be a leech, I would be a leech like a motherfucker. I think that a lot of people want to contribute to society, but the way that they want to contribute to society isn't defined in economic terms. There are people who might want to be an artist. They might want to help kids. They might want to, you know, be a painter. Well, I guess an artist and a painter is kind of the same thing. They might want to help elderly or something like that. So there's a lot of things that people want to do that contribute to society, but they don't necessarily generate an economic outcome, right? They want to be a musician. So I do think that most people want to fundamentally contribute to society, but I don't think that they want to fundamentally contribute to society inside of the narrow range that economic employment provides. So, like, I agree with you and I disagree with you. Maybe it's confusing, right? I think people do want to be teachers. There's people who do want to be teachers. People do want to be police officers. But I think there's a lot less people that want to be garbage men, for example. Yeah, people want to make video games, something like that. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. People don't want to contribute to society's sake. People are self-interested and they do what they can for their ego. You're right, but sometimes people's ego wants them to contribute to society. Dr. K talked about this. He said it's the ego of having no ego. I think it was actually very insightful. I watched the video we did about this.
Oh, there we go.
Teacher shortage is a big problem. You want to know why there's a teacher shortage? I've talked to teachers. Because being a teacher fucking sucks. I cannot think of a job that's worse than being a teacher. Maybe being a policeman sucks.
So
Probably policeman probably sucks about as much.
Hello?
Right? Or more.
Alignment.
But being a teacher is probably one of the worst jobs. Like I think it's a huge fucking problem. So like teachers now, this is like the crazy thing. And I'm only talking, these are people that I've talked to in like the Austin area. So like these are the school districts here. I don't know how it is where you're at.
Hello?
But like there's a person who I was talking to about this and they told me that they now have to respond. There's like a fucking app that teachers have to deal with in like certain school districts where the parents can send the teacher messages and the teacher is required to respond to those messages at pretty much all times. And not only that, they have to do that off their own time. And this is like a new thing that's been created. Yeah, it's fucked up. They need to stop that? I mean, sure, but like I'm just telling you how it is. Low pay and incredibly exhausting. And teachers also on top of that, like they get paid for shit.
Oh, I know
you have
why.
One crazy teacher
I have to flip
who's
all
trying
this.
to teach
Like
first graders about like anal sex, and like they do a TikTok about it, and then everybody thinks every teacher is like a crazy like sex freak. Have you guys seen this? Huh? What are you hiring me for? I'm talking truth.
I need
I'm not making this up. What I'm saying is
quiet.
that Chicago public school system in shambles. Well, what I'm getting at, right, is that like teachers get shit on for these things that happen that go viral. So like being a teacher, you get shit on constantly by the parents because now whenever the student doesn't do well, it's the teacher's fault, not the student's fault. It's what I hear. And then on top of that, you get paid like shit. You know, like they say you have 3 months off, but you kind of don't because you have to work and do other stuff at the same time during summer vacation. Then you also don't get enough money to pay for all the stuff for your schools, or sorry, for your classes. So you need to take your own money that is very limited and then spend it on school supplies because the parents can't afford it. And it's just awful. And then you've got to grade papers. And then again, you've got parents that are messaging you on an app at 8 o'clock at night, and you're required to respond within a period of hours. Yeah, no wonder there's a teacher shortage. Fuck that. Why would anybody want to do that?
You know, our governments are claim to think of unemployment as some great social ill that needs eliminating. But in truth, if there weren't any people unemployed in society, the system wouldn't work. And so they intentionally
How come I can't get this right?
Unemployment in order to discipline us who are in the workforce.
It's worth noting this isn't the first time that property developer Tim Gurner has caused controversy with
Wait, this guy's done. This guy's at it again?
Comments which sound wildly out of touch and somewhat sociopathic, even if they do just reflect
on
the real interests of capital. In 2017, he told a reporter this.
We are coming into a new reality where first-home buyers, second-home buyers, and a lot of people won't own a house in their lifetime. That is just the reality of where we're going.
So you think that young people have now got the prospect of...
He's right.
...of never owning a house?
I live in Austin.
I don't understand why this isn't
$40 a day on smashed avocado and coffees and not working. Of course, absolutely.
Now, I looked at the average price of an apartment in Melbourne.
Yeah, and see, this is the interesting thing about a guy like that, is that he's right, but he's wrong about the reason. That's what makes him interesting.
It's about 800,000 Australian dollars. To afford that, you'd have to save $40 every day for 55 years. So that is not a good strategy to get on the housing market. And of course, that's assuming that there are actually people paying $40 a day for avocado on toast and coffee, which seems a little bit implausible to me.
There are a lot of people who are poor because they make bad financial decisions. But if they didn't make bad financial decisions, they probably still wouldn't be able to afford a $600,000 house.
Of course, Tim Gurner has less need to save for his first house because you guessed it, Gurner got on the property ladder with loans from his boss, who also
There it is.
happened to be his grandfather.
That's convenient.
So this is who we're taking
That's very
financial advice
convenient.
from. Everyone else needs to get a little bit poorer and a little bit more desperate, so they work harder for their
Yep.
bosses. This guy gets to get on the property ladder by borrowing
That
money
is
from his
so
granddad.
insane. It's
It's
doing
that simple. There it is. A small loan of $1 million. What are the chances? I don't know, probably like 90%. You know, something like that. I wish that there was more of a focus. This personally is like
It's backwards on this spot.
an opinion I have is I think there's too much of a focus being put on private individuals and private companies to solve the problems of society. I think
Well,
these are problems that
mighty.
need to be solved by the government. And the problem is not that
I give
people
up.
like this exist. Because people like this have always existed and they will always exist. The problem is that their impact and their influence isn't checked. That's what the issue is. Because people like this are always going to be around. It's on the government to pull the reins on these companies that are being taken advantage of the citizens. Exactly, yeah. And it's on the citizens to put the pressure on the government. And that's why I think it's kind of problematic whenever we have videos like this talking about like these companies and how bad they are. It's like, yeah, we can all get around and circle jerk about how much this guy's a dickhead, right? It's like this Gordon Gekko, fucking slick back hair, 1980s real estate guru that actually just has a grandfather that was involved with this. Like, what the fuck are we listening to this clown for, right? Like, absolutely, I can go there. But what's the point of it? You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of it? Like, it's gonna go nowhere. What are we gonna do? Get mad about this asshole? It goes nowhere. So that's just what I think. It's this dude, right? It's this dude. This is a long time ago, right? He doesn't look like that anymore. He's got more gray hair now. It's more like this dude, right? And so anyway, Russell Brand gets accused of being a, like I don't really know the extent, right? Sexual harasser, sexual assault, rapist,
Jeez.
something in that spectrum,
Jeez.
right? Like actual
Who's-
serious.
I don't know who
shit,
this person
serious
is.
Bad shit, right? He gets accused of this, and a groomer. I didn't hear the grooming part. I was not aware of that, and so he gets accused of this. Obviously, a lot of people instantly defend him, and then a lot of people also go and instantly attack him because Russell Brand is a polarizing guy. Now, I actually kind of like Russell Brand and a lot of things.
British
that he
comedian
said. Like, I remember I used to watch
Vince?
The Truth.
Oh,
This was, like,
I
a
don't know
show
anything
he
about this
did.
guy.
I'm talking like this is like 2010 back on YouTube, and I would watch this like every day. I liked him. It doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. I haven't listened to anything he said probably in 5 years, probably longer than that. But like, I have a positive viewpoint of Russell Brand overall, right? I don't think he's a bad dude, if that makes sense. YouTube has demonetized Russell Brand's account. And this happened maybe 2 days ago or so, where YouTube took away all of his monetization. Russell Brand gets demonetized on YouTube, and YouTube
Got a rat
gets,
living in his lair for.
they basically like they go and they take the monetization
Excuse
off
me,
his
Nate?
channel. So like if you go to Russell Brand's YouTube channel, now they did not ban him, but they took monetization off his channel. I think this was a mistake for YouTube. I do. And here's why I think it's a mistake. It's because R. Kelly is
Actually, I'm
monetized.
out. That is
It's
these.
because
Are
Cardi
these
B
like
is
coming back on him
monetized,
now?
who
Oh
literally
jeez.
said that she used to dudes and take their money whenever she used to be a stripper. So how the fuck are you going to demonetize this guy over an accusation? Meanwhile, you got these other pieces of shit. R. Kelly is in fucking jail. It's not even an allegation, bro. Like, they brought out a whole documentary series about R. Kelly. Like, this wasn't just one episode. This was one season. He's in fucking jail. And so you're going to go and tell me that R. Kelly is going to be monetized on YouTube, but Russell Brand isn't. Get the fuck out of here. Here's the way I look at it, is that I think that if there is substantial evidence for this, he should go to trial, and if he's guilty, he should go to jail. And I think if there's not substantial evidence, then he's not guilty. It's that simple to me, man. Like, I don't have an investment in this. Like, I don't give a fuck. Why would I care what happens to some dude in the UK? Like, I don't care. Why? What this? I
I'm
don't
sleep.
know him.
Ugh.
Like, this isn't like, yeah, it's hard to know whether it's true. So, that's the way, because like I
Mapping,
don't
mapping.
want it to be true, because that means somebody would have been fucking raped, right? So like in a way I don't
Okay,
want it to be
so
true,
let's see.
but I do want, you know, what happened to be addressed, if that makes sense.
Me
And
too.
so anyway, that's my take on it, right? Anyway, on like whether he's guilty or not. So like let's just get that off the table, because none of us really know. I don't really like talking a lot about the morality of things, because I find it boring. So we'll talk a little bit more about like the functional effect of what YouTube did. Now YouTube just created
just
a
like a
frame
nap.
of reference for what
How long
is
have
acceptable
I
and not
been
acceptable
streaming?
to be monetized on their platform. And now, because they
Let's see
demonetized
ours.
Russell Brand,
Not bad.
everybody else is going to go and be like, what about R. Kelly? What about Cardi B? What about all these other fucking people I'm just not thinking of right now?
Right.
The problem is that now, every time that somebody does something bad, people are going to want YouTube to demonetize
Perhaps
it,
soon. Perhaps
which is
soon.
going to cause a lot of problems for YouTube. And it's going to open an entire fucking window of issues
How-
that they didn't originally have
What's
to
the name?
deal with. And they
Back
created this problem themselves. Do you think conspiracies are true because he talks about the Matrix and stuff became a target? I think it's probably a mix,
Back
right?
up.
I think that there's a lot of people who don't like what he says. People don't like what he said
I
about
guess I
COVID.
never saved.
People don't like what he said
Buffer.
about the Matrix and conspiracies and shit like that. And I think there's also people who think that he's fucking guilty aside from that. Because there's people that have the outlook that you should always treat people who get accused as if they are guilty. The believe all women thing. I don't think this is healthy for anybody, but this is the mindset they have. A lot of people, by the way, that have that mindset, I think, are using it to work through their own past trauma. They had a bad experience with a guy whenever they were younger or in another point in their life, and they didn't get the justice they felt like they deserved. And then now they go on the internet, and every person who accuses something, they put themselves in that person's shoes, and they pretend like it's their situation all over again. That's what I think happens. And that's why I think you have so many people that have this mindset. And I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good. I don't think anybody thinks that. Point is that I think it's probably a mix. I think Russell Brand does have inconvenient politics. It's just true. Like, whether you agree with his politics or not, you have to admit they are inconvenient for corporations. Russell Brand, back in the day, went up on a Hugo Boss. This was fucking funny. This is in like 2008. Hugo Boss is a manufacturer of like clothing. They do like really nice clothing, and they've been doing it for a long time.
You know what?
In
I might
fact,
put
one of the,
Silver's logo
main
here
things
instead.
That you know, some flashy
Maybe I
clothing
could.
we used to make
Okay,
back in the
so hear me
40s
out.
was
What
for
if I do
Nazis.
Silver's
And
logo
so
here
Russell Brand comes up
and
at
the deal or
their
no
event
deal
on
instead?
stage
I think
and
that would
gets
work
the fucking
better.
microphone and starts talking about this shit, and everybody loses their fucking mind. And so, yeah, absolutely, a lot of corporations are not a fan of Russell Brand. That's just what it is. So the truth is, like, yeah, I think it's probably
yeah.
both.
I think okay.
Doesn't this decision make YouTube a publisher?
I'm falling asleep,
Not
chat.
necessarily because they're not publishing anything, they're monetizing it. It's different because they
I was
they
talking
did not
about
ban Russell Brand.
this with
He was
wife.
not
I
banned
keep
on
staying
YouTube.
up
However,
too
monetized
late.
content is promoted more in the algorithm, and of course, if people can make a living on the
I'm falling
website,
asleep.
and YouTube is the arbiter on who can and cannot make a living on the website.
My gosh.
And they use arbitrary criteria, and it is enforced selectively. This is a
You
problem.
know, it's
So
put right
I,
there.
it's not that I think that it's okay that they do it. Like it is kind of okay, right? It's their platform, but I think it's a bad decision. I think it sets a bad precedent.
See.
And I don't want to see a world. I don't want to be in a world where every time somebody gets accused of something, they get automatically
I still don't know where to put the
deplatformed
logos
or demonetized
and such.
I think that's unfair. I think it's
If I could
unhealthy.
find
It
logos
doesn't
of
do anybody
Silver's
any favors.
character as well.
It doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, I might
It
end
doesn't
stream.
make
I'm just
any
gonna.
situation
I'm falling asleep.
And I think that every
I'm
single
honestly
time that
just
something
falling
like this
asleep.
happens and none of the accusations stick, which I kind of think that they won't stick with Russell Brand. I'm going to be honest. I think they're not going to stick. I don't think he's
I'll
gonna
start
go to
doing more
jail.
VR again.
And if
I'm
Russell
falling
Brand doesn't
asleep.
Go to jail, then he didn't do it.
And I'll
Right,
start
that's-
sleeping more.
And I'm not telling you like what I think. I'm telling you what people are going to think.
Is that okay with you
Is that
guys?
If he doesn't go to
No.
jail, he didn't do
I
it.
am like out of
It's
it.
that simple. So, if this goes and happens,
Yeah.
It's just going to be another point where people, it's going to
Okay.
strengthen
Maybe I'll stream later
people's
tonight.
reflex to automatically.
But right now,
think
I
that
am
women are
out of
liars.
it.
You see what I'm saying?
I'll see
It's
y'all
like
later,
OJ
okay?
went to jail.
I'm going to sleep.
And also, tons
Good
of
night.
people think OJ didn't do it.
Thanks for hanging out.
Also, tons of people don't give a fuck. And also,